How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Andy. It's been a crazy week. I know it's been a crazy week for you too. I didn't have it's I I'm a day behind because we had the funeral on Monday and I didn't go to work. So then like Tuesday felt like Monday, today feels like Tuesday. And but it's gonna be nice when Friday hits, so
That's true. You get to the weekend one day earlier.
Yeah. But that's about all I got going on.
Usually we talk a lot about the show and prepping up to the show, but I've been MIA, I think, for the past like 2.5, 3 days. So I literally just came on like 20 minutes before, and we have not talked at all. So it's going to be an interesting show.
Yeah, you've been out of touch, busy. And I kind of bounced in and out of the chats. I wasn't active these last couple of days, until later in the evening when I'm sitting down finally.
Well, here we are. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be a great show. Look at how beautiful those classic Natty Light cans are. I'm excited. Let's bring on our good friend, Ed in Columbus. Whoa.
What's up, Dawg Chuggers?
Ratings just went way down. How you doing, Ed?
Doing wonderful, Andy. I came coming off my birthday weekend. And how old did I turn, Andy?
We're still talking about your birthday?
No, the reason I'm bringing this up, Andy, you promised the audience receipts that I was 43. Did you not?
I'm going to collect those receipts. I just have been busy, but it'll happen. I know you said you were 43 previously.
Well,
so
I feel like I got to keep fighting until you either say I have the receipts or not. I feel like I got to tell everybody that I'm 42.
I think you just want to continue bringing it up at your birthday. You bring it up more than I bring up that I went to OU. It's just ridiculous.
You just brought up you went to OU. You just did it.
I just did it. So right before we went live, we did have an interesting question that was posed. Essentially, probably not a lot of people know this, but Ed really, really, like, strangely has a thing about cats. We like send him pictures of cats, and he gets super excited, like he's masturbating to them. I don't know what he's doing. It's really creepy though.
Catter baiting.
Yeah. And if he's like mad at you, all you have to do is send him a picture of a cat, and he instantly is like calms down. It's very strange behavior, especially for cats, especially for a 47-year-old man. But at the end of the day, the question that did come up was, how come you don't own a cat?
Right.
Because I own 2 children.
Okay. You can't.
It wouldn't be fair to the cat, because like I see these homes with cats and with kids and stuff, and I just see the cat. You got first off, you got to catify your house. You make layers. You have to actually put things on the window so they can climb and jump. I watch
what are you talking about?
My Cat from Hell. My Cat from Hell. And this guy goes around and he fixes these cats in these homes. And really, cats shouldn't be around like children. And well, my kids are teenagers, but the cat. I'm doing it for the cat. When the kids move out of the house, I will get a cat because I believe a cat deserves paradise.
Ross? Do you believe this? What
get a cat? A litter box and 2 bowls, and that's all you need. That's it. You're done.
Cat is a very independent.
You're done. The cats take care of themselves.
Yeah, you could like go on vacation for a week, and your cat's fine when you get back.
I want to ride a dog.
Easy. The dog's one that loves me.
Andy, this goes back to just me being insecure and want everybody to love me. I love me some me. I want that cat. If I get a cat, I would take it back if it doesn't love me and wants to be around me 24/7.
All you got to do is feed it, Ed. I got 2 cats staring at me right now. They're on the other side of the basement. I'm the one that feeds them. Feed them.
I read a theory that like cats are secretly waiting to kill you. Like they all want to murder you, and they're just waiting for the chance to do it. Why aren't you a dog guy? Because the dog will just love you no matter how big of a piece of shit you are. Like Deshaun Watson's dog loves Deshaun Watson.
Theory to that. I love dogs, and I fell in love with this. Shout out to Blitz, Alexa's dog. I really love that dog. But here's the thing: a cat is just a sleeky. It's just there's something about a cat. Just a beautiful animal. Look at those cats in the wild. I don't like lions because I don't like their manes. But I do like tigers because I like short-haired kitties, long-haired kitties. They look weird, and so I mean, there's just a certain type, like a car. Some people love a car in the body type. I like the body type of cat.
I just saw an announcement of breaking news. The Dawg Chug has just jumped the shark.
Wait, didn't we do that like?
Look, if there's anybody that have any cat
tips, we had a stock that we jumped the shark. I'm pretty sure.
All right. Well, real quick, I want to give Ed another chance at Ed's school. We're going to do it a little differently. We're just going to give you grades. Like, did Ed's answer, was it an A, B, C, D, or F?
Oh, shit.
I don't understand.
With that question?
I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to answer it.
Oh, another question. I was afraid that was the question.
We're going to give you a letter grade, and then we'll see how you do next week.
Okay.
So the question is, Ed, I want you to explain what happened at the Academy Awards between Chris Rock and Will Smith.
Simple answer. It's a simple answer. Will Smith won the Academy Award for Best Actor for what movie? King Richard. Wasn't that a tennis movie? So I think what he was going to do is show Chris Rock, boom, with the forehand. So I think that's all that was. And it was a precursor to his winning. So we should have known King Richard, Will Smith, Best Actor was going to win. And that's all he was doing. It was just calling his shot.
All right. Well, that's a very interesting take. Ross, why don't you give him a letter grade on that answer?
Well, I'm going to give him a C- because when I met him in person, he explained to me the one sport he played in high school, and that was tennis, and he didn't even bring that up. This is one opportunity to talk about himself, and I know Ed loves himself.
I do love myself.
And that's a great opportunity. Who'd you beat in tennis? I remember. Michael Ray. You could have shared that fact. You could have had some history, and you missed your opportunity to brag about yourself. That's what you're all about.
That is true.
Roger, what grade would you give Ed?
Ross just swayed me to go from I'm going to give him a B-.
A B-.
I'm going to stay at B. I was going to drop down it, but I'm going to give you a B and a B-. Give him a B-.
I'm upping your grade because at least you're original. I've literally heard a million people talk about this nonsense, and no one had that dumb of a take. So I'm going to up you from a D to a D+. So,
there you go.
D+. Good job.
Well, I know. I'll take it. I'll take it. It's an improvement.
Thank
you, Andy.
I like the letter grading system more than the point system.
Yes.
I'll say that.
Okay. So anyway, good job, Ed. And
what does that average to? So what did I get?
Well you got you're a C.
Okay.
A C-, a
degrees.
D+, and a B-. B-. So
is that a D?
So roughly that's probably that is okay. So a D+, a C-, that's probably a D+, and then it'd be like another letter grade. Probably a C+, maybe.
All right.
I'm gonna go plus. You're lucky to get a C.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking too.
C.
All right, C. Okay, C.
Okay. Well, while we brought that up, in honor of Will Smith's slap heard around the world, the Dawg Chug wanted to, basically say, what member of the Cleveland sports community would you want to slap? We all prepared an answer. Who are we starting with here? I guess Ross.
All right. Well, this is easy for me. I'm not a big fan of the Twitter hype going around for easy likes, easy retweets. And I'm slapping OBJ right across the face, maybe even backhanding him if that's permissible. He, back in his Giants days, is all about making the news and then pleading innocent, kicking nets. Then he comes to the Browns, always having these cryptic tweets, saying a bunch of crap, tells people not to come to Cleveland, makes a Baker Mayfield can't find me open video, which, now that Baker's not going to be our guy, we're kind of defending it a little, but, it's just so weird. Now he's like, oh, wait, I want to come back on the Browns. You know why you want to come back on the Browns? It's because you have 2 ACL injuries on the same knee. You're not worth anything. You're going to get the league minimum no matter where you go and have a prove it deal. But what are you going to prove? That you're going to get hurt again? He knows all this, and the only reason he wants to come back is potentially because Jarvis could come back. And it's just, I'm kind of fed up over him taking the spotlight when he's not even on our team. And if he is on our team, is he really going to make that much of a difference? It's so annoying. And then everything he did with the Rams, I think it was a little overrated. I mean, he got some touchdown passes and they made a run and he helped them, but
he played good.
It really bothers me. And I just want to slap him because I'm tired of him being an attention whore when he's not even going to be a Hall of Famer.
All right. Roger, who would you most want to slap out of the Cleveland sports world?
I'm going with Paul Dolan. Because, okay, let's set aside one of the best young pitching staffs in baseball. And let's set aside Jose Ramirez, who's always in the MVP conversation at the end of the year. He had a golden opportunity with the rebranding of a franchise, and he blew it. He completely blew it. You got fans that hate the name, hate the fact that they changed the name, that'll call them the Indians forever or walked away. You have fans that didn't care about actually changing the name, but they don't care for the name they picked. And then you have this half-assed, sloppy, shoddy work on emblems and promotion. And he could have really turned this around if he goes out and you add a couple arms to the back end of that bullpen, and you get a bat or two, and you really, put this out there for the city of Cleveland. You're going to make money. You're going to make money. You're going to have people coming out to ball games. And I'm just tired of him being cheap. Last year, the Indians, what were they, 80 and 82? And we threw double-A pitching out there most of the year. I mean, there's some talent on this team. Amard Rosario in left field. He's a solid number 2. This is Big Bobby's got to hit this year. He's got to hold down first base. This is a do or die year. I'm tired of Zimmer and Mercado. I was excited today for Josh Naylor. He's a 240 hitter. Lifetime.
I love Naylor.
He was good before he got hurt. I've had that hurt. He was good. He's good.
He is, but that's what I'm getting excited for. And it's a horrible injury, and I'm glad he's back. But that has me excited where he has Paul Dolan had an opportunity to really,
if he's your best
make a wave here with the Guardians, and he blew it. So I want to curb stomp him.
Can I pay? Can I give some of my money? I want to buy a player.
I don't know how the Academy feels about that, Roger.
Can we chip in, Andy?
That's what I got for you, Andy. Look at Eddie.
Ed, do you believe in
Ed, I got a cat I can tell you. What do you got there?
Does your household believe in owning a gun in your household to protect yourself? Okay.
No.
So
I shoot myself.
Ed is now showing off how much money he has. So anyone that down in the Columbus area, feel free to break into his house, and he's got
it's $600. They might have a good night.
All right, Ed, who do you want to slap?
Well, I think you know what. So it can just be anything about Cleveland sports.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to do you a solid, Andy. I'm going to do everybody a solid. I'm going to say myself. I'm going to smack myself because you know what?
Wait, I missed it. Do it again.
You sons of bitches. I don't want to call somebody out. I'll smack myself with my money all day. 600 bones. Smacking myself. That's what it's all about right here. It's about me, and I'm going to take this time in the segment to talk about me. So smack myself. So Andy,
you have a weaker slap than Will Smith, by the way.
Thank you, Andy. Nice observation.
I'm going to slap a guy that is beloved in Cleveland, but I'm trying to slap some sense into him. Jarvis Landry, I need to slap the shit out of you because it's reported that he believes he's supposed to be earning $20 million a year, which just blows my mind. He has no idea who he is, where he ranks among other wide receivers. He's 29 years old. He fired his agent, and he's getting a new agency to represent him. I don't know if he got bad advice, and that's why he fired him, or if he just has a completely misguided opinion of himself. But whatever number he settles on is going to be, in my opinion, single digits a year. He's a great receiver, but he's not an elite receiver. Why does he think he's worth $20 million? Jarvis, I'm sorry, I need to do it. I love you, but I have to slap you. So with that, I think we have one more person. We're actually going to bring on our guest because I'm sure he has someone that he would love to slap. So we're going to bring on the one, the only, Mac the Buffalo.
Hey, Mac in the house.
We love you. You make us laugh every day on Twitter. Your shenanigans with you and Ed are hilarious. I hope right now you can show us how disgustingly dirty your sink is, because it just gets under his skin. Ed is OCD and it drives him crazy. So that would be great if you could do that. But
I still haven't put away my dishes that I did 3 days ago. Ed, I hope that just eats you alive inside. I was also sitting in the green room watching him wave around Monopoly money to show off. Yeah, you can run that under a light. I'll still call you a liar. That's fine. That's fine.
The other day, Mac was getting annoyed with Ed, and so he took his entire tray of silverware, just dumped it into the sink, and Ed almost had a heart attack watching that. So that was hilarious. Thank you for those moments. Anyway, who would you most want to slap in Cleveland sports right now?
So I'm looking at it this way. I would slap the hell out of Jadeveon Clowney's agent. He was reported, an offer of about $12 million a year. That was, I believe, not last Thursday, but almost 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I put out a tweet. It kind of reminds me of SpongeBob writing his essay, right? He's just standing there right in front of the paper, just like looking at it and just trying to sign his name, but like nothing gets done. And that's how I feel. And I mean, it's happened for the past 2 years. Takes his time, visits with different, teams, looks at what's best for him. But I mean, the Browns have one selling point, Myles Garrett.
Yep.
Jadeveon Clowney revived his career, and the only reason why he would have any market right now is because of what Myles allowed him to do along the defensive line, and the Browns do need him. They have yet to make, a splash in free agency in terms of on the D line, and the Hogs get it done up front. So if anybody I'm slapping Jadeveon Clowney's agent. Get that deal done.
It feels like it is going to get done with Cleveland. We just have to wait it out. I think he's a guy that likes to be courted, and there's a million headlines in the first week and a half of free agency. When he signs on April 14th or whenever, that's the only news in town, and everyone's celebrating him. I think he loves that, so he's going to play that game. It's fine. Just eventually come back to Cleveland, and we will celebrate you. Otherwise, I want you to actually go slap him. So
how are you going to slap him? Show us your slap, Mac.
Show me my slap. So I'm
southpaw.
Southpaw. And I'm getting full reach. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm getting full reach, and then just right. You gotta aim right for the jaw here.
Okay.
You gotta connect.
Let me ask you this: if you had slapped Chris Rock, who's a little guy, would he have fallen over?
I mean, depends if I'm following through, and more than likely I am. So
that one you just showed us. That one you just showed us. Would that have knocked him over?
I'd say. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I'm a decently big guy. 6 foot, 240. So I feel like I got enough weight behind me. Yeah. Yeah. I'm technically a heavyweight.
Me and Mac are twins.
Nice. All right.
6 foot, 240.
Well, I hope you get the chance to smack some sense into Jadeveon Clowney's agent, because I want him to come back to Cleveland. Feels like that needs to happen, and it will happen. We just need to be patient. So,
shout out to Crystal. Shout out to Christian and Summer. They're watching. We got quite an audience tonight, Andy.
Nice.
Just want to say thank you guys.
Thank you everyone for watching. I say it all the time, but the best thing you can give us is your time.
Oh, God damn it. Shout out to the Barking Browns with Ed in Columbus.
Thank you.
Hey, Ed.
Yes.
Yes, Roger. Ross asked you a question earlier today in the production chat. Barking Browns.
Oh, I don't.
He can neither confirm nor deny. That's what he told us. So we can't disclose.
Yeah. You didn't confirm or deny. You ignored the answer.
He gave us the
now I'm ignoring the question.
What was the question?
Your favorite one about Ed and the Barking Browns and his pay.
Like I said, that's internal discussions only. We keep that in house.
I did have one thing to say. A shout out to the Barking Browns though for Jacob for all his mock draft help. I did want to make a comment during the show, but I didn't think it was appropriate for that professional non-Dawg Chug environment. Does Stefanski have a weirder fetish for tight ends than Deshaun has a fetish for massages?
I think it's pretty close.
Oh, shout out to the Barking Browns. We had a major announcement today, part of the Faithful Dogs Network. So shout out to us as we transition over with them. And I just want to give them a shout out.
Ed, what does that mean?
Well, that means that we're partnering up with the Faithful Dogs Network, and they have a Twitch thing that we're going to be on and things. And we're still going to keep creative responsibilities of the show and everything. We're just going to kind of be like distributed using that platform and you know what I'm saying, and have partnership with them.
Nice. Looking forward to that. All right, I'm gonna say goodbye to Ed and Ross for a little bit. I'm sure we'll get you back on so I could throw you off. So that's always fun. Mac, thank you so much for joining us. I did want to ask that you've told us that you've recently joined the Down with the Browns podcast. So want to give you a minute to talk about that.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
So I got a random message from one of the guys that I do the podcast with now, Manny. And I followed him for a while. He's always hilarious. Honestly, one of the guys that I follow that really makes me laugh. He shot me a message. He said, "Hey, you know, would you love to be on the podcast sometime?" And I probably shouldn't have read the tweet while I was driving, but it was one of those things to where, like, oh my God, and then, you know, hey, like, eyes right on the road, you know, don't want to wreck this thing. But, you know, I went on a great conversation with the guys. They ended up asking me to be on full time about a week and a half later, and we've just taken off ever since. You know, we're on all kinds of platforms. Shout out to Christian, who's our producer, who's kind of like the guy, really kind of the guy behind the desk in terms of getting this thing together. I mean, I believe that we're on like 8 different platforms, 4 of which I've never heard of in my life. But you know, so the guys really do a great job, and it was just a really exciting opportunity that I just couldn't turn down.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
And that's exciting to hear that they are out. You know, you can find them anywhere. At the Dawg Chug, we just like to make it very hard and confusing to find out how to watch an episode.
I type in the Linktree thing /Dawg Chug. I have no idea what the fuck it is. Ross told me to type it in when I post. I was like, all right, just type it in, post. That's it.
Like, I know I should be more consumed with that, but I don't know. I'm not good at this. But at some point, we're gonna make the Dawg Chug be out there more often. Unfortunately, we jumped the shark today, but Ross is saying all you have to do is type in Andy Mansion to get YouTube videos laugh out loud, because you have to search my name on YouTube. All I have to do is switch that to Dawg Chug, and I keep thinking today's going to be the day. It just hasn't happened yet. So I apologize. We're going to get this done. But congratulations on Down with the Browns podcast. I suggest everyone go listen to that because it's way better than this dumb show.
Yeah.
Also,
Jesus.
you're doing the Cleveland Stampede blog. Let's hear a little bit about that.
So I started that back in November. It was one of the things I played football from Pee Wee up through college. You know, like talking football is one of my things now. I don't know much outside of that and keeping myself in decent shape. So I started writing. It was after the Browns versus Steelers game in Cleveland. You know, the one where everybody kind of walked out as if someone shot their dog because it was so depressing. You know, and it was one of those things to where you see what a lot of people out there say in the media, and, you know, and some of it's pretty good. But there's sometimes where you can see that people are just following a narrative and there's no real depth to it. Right. You know, so I kind of almost, I don't want to say took it upon myself, but I started kind of doing my own writing, something that I haven't really done since high school. And it kind of turned into a thing to where I almost got addicted to my own research, digging through stats, trends, seeing, you know, where the team can go from here, and just kind of providing as much analysis that I can, but letting the data create the narrative, not the narrative create the data. Right. So, you know, it's really cool too, because when I first started out, it was, I would say about like 99% of the people that were reading my stuff were in the random Facebook groups. But now it's to the point to where I have like family and close friends that now read it. And one of probably the coolest messages that I've ever gotten, my Graham texted me about a week ago saying that she read my Deshaun Watson article and she loved it. And it absolutely made my week. And I just think it's cool that I have an ability to kind of put my voice out there in terms of writing. because my senior paper in high school was actually on the Browns, whether or not they were a cursed team. And I wanted to prove that they had the worst luck of any franchise, right? But my research led me to believe that they were a poorly run organization until roughly about like 2013. But that's beside the point, So I just think it's really cool that that I have an ability to kind of put my own voice out there, and the support that I've gotten, I'm forever grateful for. But obviously still building, and hopefully I can get it to the point to where I just got my Google ads up and running. So
Nice.
currently making pennies on the dollar, but hopefully it can get to the point to where I can see just a little bit of income come through. But
Well, you're passionate about it, so if you make even a penny, that's great.
Yeah,
'cause-
man.
oh, it's absolutely. I still remember when I made my first cent. It was roughly about like a week and a half ago, and it was almost like it felt like I won the lottery. Honestly.
That's awesome.
Man, that's awesome, Matt. Congratulations, man. I love watching watching you do it, watch Jacob Roach do it, and writing. You guys work your ass off. And I used to write when I was young, and I always think I want to get back into writing, and then I see you guys working your ass off. I'm like, no, I'm good. We'll let them do it.
All right.
I enjoy reading it, man. I do. You guys do a great job.
Thank you.
Chase it, man. Chase that dream.
I think the Cleveland media does sometimes get a little bit lazy and pushes out false narratives. So if you want to actually see what's actually happening in reality, then go follow Mac's blog, and you will know what is happening in reality, and you're not going to be subscribing to the fake news. So thank you for that. I can't wait to check it out, because I have not actually read your blog, but I'm going to. Promise. As soon as I change the YouTube to the Dawg Chug. Okay. Now we're going to do our favorite game, which is Spit, Sip, Chug. And I know you don't need to understand the rules, but our audience does, because people stumble on this dumb show and they don't know what we're talking about. So I'm going to work really hard today to make sure I don't fuck this up. I'm going to read a statement. If you agree with it, you're going to chug. If you are tepid, you're going to sip. And if you disagree, you're going to spit. And I'm going to read a statement. I'm not going to do a question. Let's see how I do. Ross actually wrote a couple of questions. So I'm going to go back and forth. We actually have 5 questions today, so this is going to be a lot of fun. So first question is, I don't care what anyone says. Ownership pushed for Watson harder than the front office. So Mac, do you agree with that? Are you tepid, or you disagree with that statement?
I'm tepid. Now it's really hard, because the report said that this was pushed by front office. I have it, and it's funny because my source is a guy that has a source in the building, right? But he's never been wrong. So he said that it was front office. They came out in the press conference. Haslam doubled down on it. Andrew Barry and Kevin Stefanski double down on it. So it's almost like you kind of have to believe them, but it's kind of to the point to where there's too many holes in this whole thing to be, truly driven by a front office that's heavy into analytics, especially when the contract is fully guaranteed $230 million. And if he is suspended, it's only about $55,500 per game that he sits. So that doesn't really sound a lot like an analytical decision, especially with this giant rain cloud that is his 22 civil cases that he still has to dispute. So it's really tough to believe that it was front office, but again, they've doubled down on it. A lot of sources, and you're hearing it straight from the horse's mouth. So you have to believe it, but there's a lot of doubt there.
Okay. So you sipped. Did you actually sip your beer, or are you just saying that you're going to sip? There it is. Oh, sorry, White Claw. It's not beer.
Rules
Roger?
are rules, man. I'm chugging.
Whoa.
I'm chugging because of what Andrew Barry said last year when he was asked about Mayfield's extension and if 2022 was going to be a prove it year. And what does he need to see from Mayfield? And Andrew Berry said, I've seen enough. And that was like in November. And I think that this started for Andrew Berry. And you're right. It just doesn't make sense. But I think they got to the point where their jobs are on the line, and analytics looked at what other quarterback we can get. And what are we going to go through the Trubisky's and the Winstons and the, you know what I mean, and go through that nonsense for 5 years. And I think they just double down and want to keep their jobs. And Jimmy Haslam has the checkbook. He'll write the check, and they said, why not? And then he just, when everybody, the other team, when they said we were out of it, he said, fuck it, guarantee it. He raised the stakes. So I chugged. Yeah, I'm chugging on. It was front office all the way.
Okay. So the question was actually written the opposite, that ownership pushed for Watson harder. So what you're saying is you should have spit, but we understand logic. So basically I am right now 1 for 1 and Roger's, 0-1, but there's still a lot of game left to be played. All you have to do is type in. Oh yeah. Sorry. Reading the comment that he wrote last to me. So I am actually going to agree with Roger, even though I'm going to do the opposite. I am spitting.
See, I just don't like to spit. Andy will spit.
I don't like to spit, but I have to spit because I do think this was totally a front office move. I know Haslam is not a good owner in that he interferes, and he is one of those guys. The last person in the meeting, I think, is the one that he listens to, because so he's easily swayed. But I think in this instance, he knows he has a competent front office and a solid head coach, and he's letting them do what they think they need to do. If they tell him this is what we need to do, he says, fine, I'll sign the check. Maybe the 230 guaranteed was helped by the fact that, the whole Baker situation was melting down so fast. I don't know, but I think ultimately our front office and coach were saying we need to do whatever it takes. And in this instance, Haslam said, sure, let's make it happen. And they made it happen. So I don't know if that's the right move, but I do think the front office wrote a check, and now we'll see if it pays off. Make sense? Let's go to question number 2. This is a Ross question. The Browns, and this is an interesting one. The Browns will have a retractable dome or roof within the next 10 years. And Roger, we're going to start with you on this one.
You know what? I'm going to chug on it.
Nice. And why are you chugging?
I think I'm chugging because I believe they will have a retractable roof on a new building. I think that's what Haslam wants. I think they want to turn that area into year-round type. You're talking about prime real estate right on the lake. I think we're going to have it. I think it's what they envision. He's done with Pilot Flying J. He's 100% into the Browns in Cleveland, and that's what people with money do. They build stuff. So I'm chugging on it.
All right. Well, I'm going to answer next, and I am going to agree with my co-host and chug. I guess I'll chug after so I don't delay. But ultimately, I know they're investigating whether they should do it or not. I think that it does make – I hate that Cleveland Brown Stadium is beautiful on the outside. I hate everything about it on the inside. It could be so much better. And obviously being able to have year-round concerts and everything that you just mentioned would be fantastic. There's a lot of money in that. And I think Cleveland has been growing a little bit and could really capitalize on having sort of another entertainment district in our city. So I do envision it's not just going to be a new stadium. It's going to be like a whole new area to go in Cleveland.
Right. Shops Cleveland. And dining and boating bars. And just everything. It's awesome. All right there. They get rid of that damn airport. Look out.
So, Mac.
Sadly, I'm going to have to agree. Now, the minute that they put a roof over First Energy Stadium, more than likely going to die inside. It's really crazy. Now, granted, they, just like how you said, Andy, they can build it into a venue that hosts multiple events. Cleveland and the Cleveland Browns hosted the NFL draft. They saw what that did for the city in the span of a weekend. I'm sure that they're convinced to build a dome. Now, I don't understand the fans and media's push to get a dome. They've been whining about it for years. But here's the thing. So obviously, when you walk into that dome in December, it's going to be nice and comfortable and you can take your jackets off. But you're still going to be tailgating for 4 hours in the freezing cold. So what's the point?
Good point.
And when you want somebody to come into the Browns house in January and February, because we're hoping that this is a playoff team, right? You want to have some kind of advantage. Now you have a backfield with Nick Chubb, and Andrew Berry has a knack for getting guys like, Dearness Johnson, who are good chain to pace back. So the Browns have a running game. Why not make it harder on your opponent to play in your house? Now, Buffalo recently came up with the renovations for an open air stadium. I'm so glad that they do that because these winter games are fun, right? Everybody's building fires in the parking lot and huddling together, and I don't want to say it takes the fun out of it, but it almost does in a sense. Now, I agree with the fact that it's going to be a strong chance that there's going to be a dome soon, just simply because I believe First Energy Stadium, after Tennessee gets renovated and after Buffalo does, they're going to have one of the older stadiums in the NFL, if not the oldest. So I say chug to that.
Okay.
Can I say that I'm like you, Mac. I played football from Pee Wee all the way through high school. I didn't play in college, but I played 7-on-7 flag football, like competitive, fucking really competitive football for 10 years. And I hated playing on fake grass. Sometimes we played at Lakewood Stadium in games. I hated that. I loved the mud and playing myself, playing indoors I would never want to be any part of that, but like, to me, it doesn't matter if they put a, because I don't go to many games anymore. I see what you're saying about the allure of like a blizzard, but I think today's athletes they're soft. They're a little soft. They said Deshaun Watson isn't good in the cold, as good as and it just, even when it's snowing or it's raining, it just ain't. The games aren't like they were like when we played the Buffalo in that whiteout. You know what I mean? It's just like it's almost not even entertaining anymore because they don't want to be there. That's how I love football out in the natural elements. I do.
All right. So and I just want to make the point. I think what they need to do is have the option whether it's open and it's snowing or
that would be great. Yeah.
Because I think ultimately, how awesome would it be if they announced 2 days before the game starts, you know what? We're going to make it open. It's 10 degrees outside and we're going to make it open. I think Cleveland would celebrate the hell out of that. No one's going to complain.
Right. That's great, Andy. That's great. Yeah.
I think it depends on the circumstance, situation. If it's a quarterback that doesn't play well in cold, like Deshaun Watson, unfortunately, then let's make it cold. How cool would that be to have that be? We're always excited that they're going to wear this jersey to a game. How cool would it be to determine whether we're going to have the open stadium or the closed stadium? I think that would be a lot of fun, and everyone would have opinions about it. It would be great. So I think it needs to be a stadium that could. Isn't the Arizona Stadium? Don't they have the grass even comes outside the stadium so that it can be natural grass? So they can even do that. Yeah. Ed wanted to respond to you, Mac. So Ed, the floor is yours.
Mac, how old are you? Because I'm 42.
I'm 26, Ed, and I'm absolutely terrified that I'm gonna grow up to be you one day. Because you were talking about
so lucky. You're so lucky. All I want to say is go on a rant. You're 26, okay? You sounding like you're 86 years old. Let's go play out in the cold and the elements. And let me give you a little history of the Cleveland Browns, okay? 1980, Oakland Raiders come. Red 88. Once again, cold weather is supposed to help a northern team. Cleveland never gets help by the weather. It never does. These southern teams always come in and kick our butts in playoff time. Name me a playoff game that we've actually won. You can't do it. And so that's my point. So build a dome. It's this architectural, magnificent thing. And why not build the eighth wonder of the world? You know, I'm so sick of this old man mentality. Grow up. People want to relax.
Hold on. Huge hole in your argument here, Ed. You can't just say red right 88 and then blame it on the cold when Brian Sipe threw it into triple coverage.
Yeah,
I wasn't even alive.
There's a reason why the game was 14-12, and he wanted to get one more. Otherwise, he would have just kicked the field goal right away instead of going. You know,
my mother refused to let me go to that game. My uncle had an extra ticket. Somebody was sick, and she refused to let me go. And I ran away from home to my grandmother's house on the next street. And I went and talked to my mom for like a week. She wouldn't let me go to that game. And I sat at my grandmother's and watched it with her, and I cried. I was 11 years old for that game.
A lot of crying going on.
And that's right, man. We don't do – it's not like we've won 3 AFC championships in the cold. So we really don't have – it's really – you know what I mean?
Grow up.
Even Buffalo. You know, I'd put a dome on it if I was Buffalo. They're 0-4 in the Super Bowl.
I got a question for Mac. Buffalo's going to build this beautiful open-aired stadium, okay? They're going to use it for 8 Bills games, a Kenny Chesney concert in July. You build a dome. That argument is so archaic. You're building it for Cleveland. You're building a dome for not just the Browns. You're building it for Cleveland because it's going to be taxpayers' money paying for it. So should the general have more access to a building? You know what I'm saying? You make an open-air stadium that the citizens are paying for anyways. They get a Kenny Chesney concert, 8 games, and who cares about 2?
So where are you going to tailgate, Ed? Where are you going to tailgate?
It's like a
tailgate where the fuck? Right in front of the building, and then you get warm.
Right outside.
Right
outside. You're going to be standing in the cold longer than the game transpires. So you're going to be out in the cold anyway. It doesn't really even matter at that point.
I watch the Lions all the time, and those people on Thanksgiving Day, they're glad they're going into a dome and enjoying
it's Detroit.
Who cares? We're just as bad as they are in football.
Okay. I think we're at an impasse here. We have to agree to disagree, but thank you, Ed, for bringing up some good points. And let's get back.
Tell me I did a good job. Even though you disagree.
I think you did pretty great, Ed.
Thank you.
We're proud of you.
I've never been in a Spaces. Is that what it's like?
Yeah, like pretty much. Ed? Just people just yelling on top of each other. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Maybe Jacob Roach's I'd go into. Him and the robot guy probably keep order, but I want nothing. I've never been into Spaces, but that's what I picture is Ed yelling at everybody.
It's pretty much like imagine having like vertigo, but being able to leave that state by the click of a button.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay.
Beautiful.
Let's do a space after this.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. All right, let's move on to question number 3. This is a lame one. I'm sorry, but it needs to be said. The Browns, in 4 weeks at the NFL draft, should draft a kicker. And I'm going to start. And I hate this question. I'm spitting. Don't draft kickers. There's Phil Dawson was not drafted by the Browns. He was a guy they brought in, and he became an amazing kicker for the Browns. It just doesn't work. Don't waste assets on a guy that then you have to keep for 2 years because you drafted him. And if he sucks, you can't get rid of him. Just don't do it. It's guaranteed money. Just go find here's what I want the Browns to do. I want them to find a great kicker out there. I wish they had, found a kicker in free agency. They didn't do that. Obviously, the Browns don't have a premium on kicking field goals. They want to go for it. So that's probably driving this decision. But I want a good kicker. I do not want to draft a kicker. Mac, I'm going to turn to you.
I'm going to spit. No, I'm not actually going to spit because I'm on my couch and I would have to clean that up. But I would never draft a kicker only because, you look at Austin Seibert, you look at Zane Gonzalez, and, you pretty much look at every single kicker that they drafted after Phil Dawson.
Took in the second fucking round.
Yeah. And it's not a talent thing with kickers. Adam Vinatieri said it the best. It's right between the ears.
Yep.
I would just stick with Chase McLaughlin. Obviously hire or bring in some competitions, hire a psychologist, and just kind of figure out mentally where these guys are at. Because Chase McLaughlin was almost automatic, and then he had one field goal blocked, and that was it. It was just night and day. and I couldn't believe it. I mean, I still think of 2020. One of the first things when you say 2020 Browns, I think of Cody Parkey lining up to kick with the fear of God in his eyes, just absolutely terrified out of his mind, praying that the ball goes through the field goal post. So, go look out on the free agency, see if anybody's just mentally right and can kick in cold weather, and just give them a shot, because it's not going to get any better through the draft. I mean, I feel like the Bengals lucked out with McPherson. Granted, he had that cool trick shot, that went viral on the internet, taking the cap off the Gatorade bottle. But very rarely will you find a guy like that through the draft. So I would say spit on this one, bring back McLaughlin, bring in some competition.
All right, Roger.
Spitting. Was that good enough, Andy? I spit my gum out. No.
Nice. We're in
you got to find a kicker, a veteran that's, like you said, it's between the ears. You're not going to waste assets on a kicker. You know what really surprising? You know what it is? College kickers really have no pressure. Like the good ones that are on good teams, all they're doing is kicking extra points, maybe a field goal here or there. You know what I mean? Because they're blowing people out 53-12, and there's really no pressure on the kickers. And how many times do you see a big kick in college? Very rarely, a game winner. You want a seasoned veteran, somebody who's been through the NFL, knows what it's like playing different climates, playing indoor, outdoor, etc. Yeah, I'd never waste the assets on a kicker.
All right. We are all in unison, so let's move on to question number 4. The Cleveland Guardians will finish last in the American League Central. Ross? Not Ross. Ross came with this question. Mac, how would you answer this one?
I'm going to sadly chug. And I say this because now I would really like to know the data of players on the Cleveland Guardians and back obviously through the Cleveland Indians on who got an extension, because it almost feels like they're bringing these guys up through the farm system, and then the minute we know their names, they can't pay them or don't want to pay them, and they go somewhere else. You can't just turn the roster over constantly and then just expect to build off of what they had the year before. And they didn't really have much the year before. Now, granted, there was injuries, but if they want to be competitive this year, they need to figure out a deal with Jose Ramirez and keep him, because not only is he your best player, but he's also a vocal leader. What kind of message does that send to the team when a guy's playing his butt off in the MVP conversation and leading this team, and they don't want to keep him around? So until I see that contract, I'm very doubtful on the season. Now, of course, they got Josh Naylor coming back, as we discussed earlier, which is exciting. They have young players like Bobby Bradley that are coming through. So, the talent is there, but you need to send a message to the team and say, hey, if you play your butt off for the city, we will keep you around. We will pay you. So sadly, till I see that deal, I'm gonna have to chug here.
All right, Roger. You love baseball.
This is my last piece of gum, so I'm not spitting it out. I'm spitting on that, Andy. I got the Indians. They can win 90 games this year, or they can win 72. And it's going to depend on, number one, the rotation staying healthy. It's going to depend on the back end of that bullpen. Now that they have another year under their belt, they ran out of gas last year, because if those two at the back end can shut the door in the 8th and the 9th, and that pitching staff can get you to 7, you got Butchall, you got some middle relievers, we're only going to need to score 3 to 5 runs a game. The key to baseball is win at home and go 500 on the road. And with Tito Francona, and if this team stays healthy, I think we got some. I'm going to spit on. I think the Indians second, third place at the worst, but I see them challenging.
All right. I'm going to agree with Roger here, and I'm going to spit. Ooh, Jesus. Ultimately, this is silly. Like the Dolans, I think, have a strategy. Like, we could do a little more to put ourselves in a better position to win, but let's not lose. I feel like they are going to put us. Whatever. The farm system is pretty stacked right now, and the pitching is unreal. And I think the Indians are going to be fine. They're going to be probably between a 500 team or a 500 team plus.
Yeah.
And like Roger said, maybe they'll contend. Maybe they'll come a little bit short of that. But I think saying they're going to be fifth in the division is kind of ridiculous, in my opinion. We'll find out. But they will be a mediocre team to a mediocre plus team, in my opinion. So,
the way the Indians are built and the way they're built to win between 82 and 90 games a year consistently every year, and that's what they do.
Right now, I think they're definitely waiting until an opportunity, and then they will clearly pay. But right now, I think this is still a rebuilding type year. Like let's figure out who we have and who's great and who's good and who sucks, and then next year maybe we'll go for it. But I do think, to Mac's point, they are going to possibly extend Jose Ramirez.
I see the Indians where Kansas City was when they went on in a two World Series, where they bring the talent up themselves through the farm system and they let them play it out and they let them learn in big league games, and then they put it all together. And that's what I see them, what's happening in Cleveland. I don't want to go throwing a bunch of money at high price free agents that, just want a paycheck. People are, they haven't signed anybody. Well, who's out there really, so.
All right. Let's go to our final question of Spit Sip Chug. The Browns should give a draft pick to convince a team to take Baker Mayfield to ensure that he doesn't end up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Roger, we're going to start with you. Do you want me to come back to you?
Yeah, just rephrase it. Look, I'm stuck on between.
Sure. So there's the theory that we don't want the Baker Mayfield to end up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So how about we actually give a team a draft pick so they will take Baker Mayfield's contract or part of Baker Mayfield's contract to ensure that he is now no longer on the Pittsburgh. Well, sorry, to ensure he doesn't get to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, all that's really going to ensure is for one season. So I'm going to spit on that. And what's it going to ensure for one season? If Baker Mayfield wants to go play in Pittsburgh, he can do that at the end of next year if he doesn't re-sign with the team that we, unless they restructure as part of the deal. I'm not afraid of Baker Mayfield going to Pittsburgh. He can go play wherever. It doesn't, I'm not worried about him being in the AFC. I think he's a middle of the road. He can win you some games, and he's, once in a while, maybe. But I'm not afraid of Baker Mayfield. I don't care if he goes to Pittsburgh. I would give up a draft pick or take that out. No, I wouldn't do it.
I am also going to spit. At the end of the day, our front office and coaching staff felt so strongly we had to get rid of Baker Mayfield. They literally threw like a million draft picks and hundreds of millions of dollars of guaranteed money to a rapist to ensure we don't have to play Baker Mayfield this year. I am not scared in the slightest if Baker Mayfield else wherever he goes. I hope you do well. I'll actually be rooting for him, honestly.
I will. I'll watch his career, and I'll always, want him to
I'll always be calling him. There's something about him that I love, and I will continue to love him after he leaves the Browns. But I'm not afraid of wherever he goes. So, and I'm definitely not going to pay an asset to the Browns to ensure we can control where he goes. I don't care. Get the best deal you can for him. Obviously, I think that's going to happen in after the draft, the day of the draft, or a little bit after. It's not happening anytime soon because there's no market for him, but I'm not scared in the slightest. So wherever you go, I will follow that team a little bit better, even if it's Steelers. That'll be one storyline. I'll be sort of rooting for him to do well with them, even if I hate them and I want them to fail. It's kind of a weird. That's where I'm at. So, Mac,
I'm gonna sip here. So the big thing with Baker, and the reason why he doesn't have as big as a market that he does is it's contract. Money talks, right? So 18.6 million guaranteed, and the Browns need every cent of that money. Right now, they have 22 million in cap space. They still need to take care of Clowney. They really do need to address at least one of the 2 vacant D tackle spots. And they still have to pay Denzel Ward. So they need that 18 million, on hand to be able to pay these players. Number 2 of why I would say sip here is that I'm not scared of Baker Mayfield going to Pittsburgh. I'm scared of Pittsburgh having a top 15 quarterback with the explosive weapons that they have on offense. Pat Freiermuth, has proved to be a reliable tight end. Deontay Johnson is a very explosive receiver. He can get that separation, and especially run after catch. Cleveland saw it firsthand. He had that pretty big catch. Chase Claypool, even though he's an absolute headache, an extremely immature wide receiver, he's still pretty talented. So Pittsburgh having a top 15 QB, and especially with the great defense that they have now, granted, they still need to beef up their D-line, and their run defense was pretty bad last year. But I don't want to see the Pittsburgh Steelers have another well-rounded team, because they're coached well enough to where if you let them hang around, they will win. So I'm going to say sip here.
All right.
Fair
enough.
That's fair.
Very fair.
They're always there, aren't they? You think they're going to have a
Absolutely.
horrible season. You're like, they're going to be horrible this year. And they're always there.
Well, now we are going to transition to our game, and this is kind of a fun one. It's a little interesting. I have not told anyone on the Dawg Chug about what we're doing. I'm going to bring both Ed and Ross on. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to play a little game where it's going to be 2 versus 2. It's going to be Mac, and he's either going to choose Roger, he's going to choose Ed, or he's going to choose Ross to be his ally in this game. And then the 2 people he doesn't pick are going to play against him. So what I need, basically, I don't know. Why don't we, Roger, Ed, and Ross, maybe make a little pitch about why Max should choose you. So we'll start with Roger. This is going to be a question about the Browns from 1999 to today.
Did you say Roger or Ross?
Yeah,
Roger.
who'd you say?
Sorry, Roger.
Don't pick me. I can't remember what I did last Tuesday, Mac.
Ed?
I'll sink your ship, man. No, I'm up. I know where a lot of guys went to college. If you want, the handsome guy from the Dawg Chug, pick
just to
me.
be clear, this isn't that. This is something independent that I have not shared with anyone. So the question will be, we'll get to that, but based on 1999 to today trivia, are you good, or should he pick someone else?
Me?
Well, I was asking Roger.
Okay.
No, well, then if Ed's in the game, you probably should pick somebody else because, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Ed, why should Mac pick you?
Keep your friends close, your enemies closer. I don't know what do they say.
All
One
right.
of those things.
Ross,
I don't know.
why should Mac pick you?
Well, I'm like by far the youngest on the Dawg Chug. I'm 31 years old. I've mainly know Browns post 1999, and everyone else here is old as hell. So
That's true.
that's why you should pick me.
All right, Mac.
And Andy wrote these.
Yeah, I already know, so you can't pick me. So I'm not even in the game. But Mac, who are you going to pick as your teammate? Roger, Ed, or Ross, knowing that you're playing against the 2 people you didn't pick, who are probably going to be pissed off and want to get back at you.
So Roger said not to pick him, and I don't really like Ed that much. So it kind of just whittles down to Ross. So I definitely pick Ross here.
All right. Wow.
By
Okay.
default.
So here's the thing. Before I can announce what this is, I need Ed and Roger to basically we're going to take you off, and I need you to go away from your computer so you can't hear anything for about 5 minutes. I will message you in the chat when it's time to come back.
All right.
Fair enough.
Okay. So we're going to take them down.
Turn off your audio. That's your best bet.
Okay, and then I got to share my screen. This will be this one. Sorry. I want to make sure I can see this. Okay. Unable to share screen. Okay. Apparently, I don't have this updated, so we're just going to go with this. So essentially, you're going to have 4 minutes. You're going to have a 4-minute timer. I'm going to ask a question, and it's how many correct answers you can get in 4 minutes. Then we're going to bring the other two on, and they're going to have the same 4 minutes. Whoever scores higher, Mac, you're either going to win or you're going to lose. And if you win, potentially at some point in the future, we're thinking about making T-shirts. You would be in the drawing to get a Dawg Chug T-shirt, which would be phenomenal. I would wear
free T-shirt. No, that's hype. Yeah, I'm down for a free T-shirt.
So it's a very simple question. You have 4 minutes. There's 32 correct answers. So you and Ross, however you want to do it, can shout them out, and I will do my best to put in the answers, and we'll see how many you can get right. So ultimately, from 1999 till today, can you name as many quarterbacks that have started a game for the Cleveland Browns? Go.
All right, we got Jake Delhomme.
Spurgeon Wynn. Tim Couch. Jason Campbell. Brandon Whedon. Derek Anderson. Brady Quinn. Vinny Testaverde. Testaverde was before. Scratch him off.
Trent Dilfer.
Jeff Garcia. Thad
Charlie
Lewis.
Charlie Fry.
Charlie Fry. Who was that coach? Ken
Derek
Dorsey.
Anderson already, right?
Yeah, Derek Anderson already. Robert Griffin III. Josh McCown. Luke McCown, because both brothers played.
Cody Parkey.
Cody.
Not Cody.
Yeah.
Wow. Cody Parkey.
Cody Kessler.
Kessler.
Cody Kessler. Yes. Who was that? Who was that kid from Stanford?
3 minutes.
Kevin. I'm blanking on him. Obviously Johnny Manziel. Baker Mayfield, Case Keenum. Kelly Holcomb. Yes.
Got it.
We already said Tim Couch.
Brandon Whedon. You already.
Brandon Whedon. We already said. For the life of me, I can't remember this guy. He was Bruce Gradkowski. Yes.
Yeah.
Bruce Gradkowski. Seneca Wallace.
Yes, I was going to say Seneca was next. The glorified backup.
Yes. Colt McCoy.
Jason Campbell, he said that, I think.
You're at
Jason
19.
Campbell.
Correct. By the way, you have 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Oh, shoot. 19. What am I forgetting?
It's, I think, before 2005. 99 to 2005 is where I forget a lot.
Yeah.
You have a name of a major person that I heard. Maybe you said it, maybe you didn't, but who is the quarterback that just is
Baker Mayfield?
Okay, I didn't hear Mayfield.
Yeah. Baker Mayfield, Case Keenum, the Nick Mullins. Oh my gosh, Kevin. I can't believe it. He was
at 21.
He was in 16.
There's a guy that started 16 games between 2013 and 2014.
Oh, 13, 14. Oh, Brian Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer, yes.
Yes.
You said Jason Campbell and
yeah.
There's a guy that started
Brandon Whedon and him all playing the same season.
I haven't heard 2017.
2017. Yeah, Kevin. What's his face?
Huber? No.
No.
That's the punter for the Bengals.
Yeah.
1 minute, by the way. 2017, he started 15 games. This should be an easy one.
Did you say 2007?
17.
17.
I already said Robert Griffin.
You already said RG. Or no, he was like 3 games.
You already said Josh and Luke McCown.
No, Notre Dame.
DeShone Kizer. Yes.
Yes. Okay, there's a guy that started 8 games in 2000.
Kevin Hogan. That's the guy I was
There you
trying to
go.
think of.
That's another one. Guy started 8 games 2000. He is a head
Jeff
coach.
Garcia. We didn't say that.
No, you did say Garcia.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm already. There's so many. You can't keep track.
8 games in 2000.
8 games in 2000.
Yeah, that's where I forget.
So he would have played. He would have played
Couch.
relief. You would have played relief for Tim Couch then.
He's a head coach.
Head coach now. Oh, Doug Peterson.
There it is.
Oh yeah.
Okay, 2 seconds left.
Yeah.
All right. So you missed, and if you said any of these, let me know. Ken
Okay.
Dorsey.
I said Ken Dorsey. He's a coach. He's a coach now. 100%. I said it.
All right. So 26. Tyrod Taylor.
Didn't name him.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Can't believe I
Yeah,
missed
should
that.
know that one.
Ty Detmer.
Didn't name Ty Detmer.
No.
Austin Davis.
Forgot about
No.
Austin Davis.
The backup of last year's Cleveland Browns, Case Keenum.
We said it.
Yeah, I said Case Keenum.
27. And Thaddeus Lewis.
No.
And then Connor Shaw.
Nope.
Connor Shaw. Yeah.
Okay.
Dang.
So we're gonna bring the boys back. Let me message them. And we'll see how they do. 27. That's a really good score out of 32 quarterbacks that have started between 1999 and today.
I bet
That's
you Ed
impressive.
has it like etched in his wall with a knife.
I don't know. Just watch Ed's eyes though, because when he answered the Caps questions, I felt like I could see him typing, and I was worried that maybe he was cheating when he was on the.
Deshaun Kaiser, I brainwashed. I was like Notre Dame. I didn't want to
Yeah.
remember.
All right, we got Roger back. We're just waiting on Ed in Columbus. Oh, here he is. Okay.
So, what happened?
Okay, so we played a little game with those two. I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to have 4 minutes to answer. There's 32 correct answers. Now, I'm not going to tell you how they did. Actually, we're gonna save that. Your job is in the 4 minutes to get as many right as you possibly can. So
They didn't write it down or nothing, or have any paper or pencil, did they?
no, they didn't write anything down.
Okay.
They were shouting out answers, and I was typing them in.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So here's the question, and as soon as I finish, I'm gonna hit the button, and you have 4 minutes from there. Between 1999 to today, how many quarterbacks have started a game for your Cleveland Browns? Go.
Ed.
Baker Mayfield, Case Keenum. I'm gonna have to go work the other way around. Let's go. Ty Detmer, Tim Couch, Doug Peterson. I don't know. Luke McCown, Garcia. Wasn't Spurgeon Wynn? I'm throwing him in the Tim Couch era, and then I know the Garcia era. We had like Del Home. Then I'm going to jump to Colt McCoy, Seneca Wallace era, Kessler, Griffin, Hogan era.
Sorry, what did you say after Kessler?
Hogan, was it Griffin, RG3, Tyrod Taylor. Let's see here. I know I'm missing losers now. Okay, I forgot Manziel Hoyer era. I know. We didn't Manziel Hoyer era because then after who's that guy? Austin Davis came in for like the kick six game. Did I say Holcomb already?
Derek Anderson, Brady Quinn.
Yeah.
We're at 22.
Kradkowski,
Charlie Fry, Johnny Manziel.
Yeah. Jason Campbell.
Campbell, Jeff Garcia.
Ken Dorsey. He had a bad ball.
Colt McCoy, Seneca Wallace.
Oh, I know. Nick Mullins from last year. Wasn't he? We didn't count him, did we? What are we at now? Cotton.
You're at 26.
Doug Peterson.
2 minutes left. Peterson was said.
Luke McCown.
What's the other McGowan?
With Brady Quinn.
Charlie.
We said Brady Quinn. Connor Shaw.
I remember his name. Trent Dilfer.
Yeah,
Did
Trent
you say
Dilfer. Yeah, Dilfer.
Um,
Derek Anderson, Daddy Lou. I'm trying to think of ones we've already said. How many do we have any more?
Say Brad Garkowski.
Yeah, we said him.
He went to Toledo.
29 right now.
29.
You have 1 minute and 45 seconds left.
Did we say? Oh, God.
Weed, Manziel, Fry,
Garcia,
Anderson, Jeff Garcia.
Fuck.
Minute and 30.
That's all we got is 30.
We said Nick Mullins,
Baker
right?
Mayfield. You said Case Keenum. You started a game, right?
Yeah.
Case Keenum.
Clipboard Jesus didn't play a game. Fuck. I don't know.
Kaiser, Deshaun Kaiser.
Kaiser is one you didn't.
Are there two McCowns? I don't know. There are two McCowns.
Kate McCowan.
Are you at 30 of 32?
Josh Booty.
Oh, Josh David. Was it John David Booty or whatever? But that wasn't one probably. What
How many do we got?
You have 30 out of 32.
We're missing 2.
Yeah.
Good luck. Shit. We get no
left.
era, no hints, no hints.
I mean, I gave them hints. I'm not.
Austin
giving them-
Davis.
We're down
Austin
to 2.
Davis.
You already had Austin Davis.
Give us something. Hurry up.
Right. He was quarterback in the 2013 through 2014 season, and he started 16 games.
Cody Kessler.
No. Whedon.
You had Whedon, you had
Kessler, Whedon.
Started 16 games. What the hell's wrong, Roger? We got to get this.
Um,
Cole McCoy.
10 seconds.
It wasn't.
You already had McCoy.
Oh my God! 2012.
5 seconds.
Oh my God! This is ridiculous.
That's
I
everybody.
don't know. This is oh
You
man!
missed Brian Hoyer.
I said Hoyer and Manziel.
He said Hoyer.
I said
Right.
Hoyer
He said
and
Hoyer.
Manziel.
Okay, what about Jason Campbell?
I said Campbell.
I said Jason Campbell too.
All right, then you got them all.
Play the tape. Review
Yes,
the
I
tape.
can't think of any more.
Listen, I believe you. I was typing these in as you were.
Not fair.
No,
That's fair.
Andy, you were typing that fast.
Yeah. Wow.
Well,
Oh,
obviously, I didn't
Jesus.
take that
You're-
Oh, good. Yeah.
If-
I feel confident.
I heard typing and I thought it was Ed cheating.
I thought I didn't hear
So
Hoyer.
good
but
to
maybe
good to
I'm-
know
I said
that
Hoyer
that was
Manziel.
Andy.
I said Hoyer Manziel.
We missed Manziel.
I
That
was
was a
all
big miss on
studied
our
up
part.
on the colleges that people went
That's
to.
what I was too. I thought that's what we were doing.
I think
No,
They
Mac,
told me
you-
all
You
week.
listen at all? Andy said that he had something we didn't know about.
I don't
no,
listen.
I kept
Obviously, I
this all
don't
secret.
listen.
so that it would be fun, and no one would have.
That
to
was
hear it.
awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
Well,
You should have picked me, Mac. What now? What
We
now?
tied them.
You
We
probably
tied you guys.
cheated. I mean, I told everybody that you probably have the 32 names etched in on your wall with a knife.
I mean,
Conspiracy.
listen, if the guy's gonna lie about his age, he's clearly gonna lie
Lies about his
Right.
age.
to look up on the
Can't
internet.
trust him.
Roger,
literally
I'm on your
looking-
team, Roger.
He's from North Olmsted.
Roger, we won. In this, if I cheated, we
Oh!
helped you out. It helped
We
you.
won. Ed, I
Yeah.
came up with the ones you didn't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've hit an end to our amazing content. Mac, what leave us something great, because I know you got something. Let's go.
Well, so the last time that I was on the Dawg Chug, which was a brief, I would say 5 or 6 minute conversation before I was dragged on to my next adventure. So it was really cool that I actually got to spend some time with you guys and, talk more than 3 sentences and shotgun a beer. So it was really fun getting on. A lot of times when you do podcasts, it's all about info and everything, but you guys make it fun. So I really enjoyed it.
All right.
Mac, thank you. That's our weeding out process. We're going to do that to find guests, because sometimes people come on and they just don't, they don't
They
have
pull a
lights.
Dan.
They don't have lights in the garage. They're smoking weed and they're doing Xanax and they freeze halfway through. The
Yeah,
fucking
never mind.
podcast.
I don't even have to say it.
So that's how that's
Uh,
what we do. We bring people in for 4 or 5 minutes, 6 minutes. And all right, Mac, we're bringing Mac on.
And
Mac's
if
going
there's
to be awesome.
anyway,
Man, you did great tonight.
You did awesome.
And with Christian, because I always retweet you guys, and I listen to podcasts like why I'm at work and I can't put the voice with the face, and now I can on the one, and it ties it now for me. So you guys do an awesome job. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And if there's any way we could ever collaborate between the Down with the Browns
Yeah.
and the Dawg Chug, we'd be totally down for that.
Yeah,
anything.
we're down.
I will talk to my people. Now I will not mention Ed's name when I pitch it,
Joe,
just so that way we can get a little bit, more of a positive thought. So
we took Ed in though. We took him in off the street. So just the Dawg Chug took Ed in, and we brought him in and like rescued him. He's like a rescue.
So he
Ed's
wasn't
a
Ed in
rescue.
Columbus when you found him. He was Ed on the street.
He was a rescue. We brought him
You
in.
know what?
Andy puts him through Ed school where he's training him.
It's the year.
I
of
know.
it.
See, I found that really cool.
He does.
'Cause I
He does hand
remember I was-
commands now, like dogs.
I got one thing to
Hand
say.
command.
Is he
It's
I got
like the
one
gorilla
LeBron
that
James
speaks
school
sign
of
language?
podcasts.
I'm cat sitting that night. I'd have to decline the invitation anyways, Max, because I'll be cat sitting that night.
This whole thing would fall apart if we didn't have Ed to make fun of. The Dawg Chug wouldn't exist without Ed.
I mean,
True.
half my interactions
No,
wouldn't happen on Twitter without Ed. So
That's right.
Ed's the
Andy's
best.
great. Roger's great.
Ed's the best.
Ross is okay. Ross is good.
We can never close a show. We suck at closing shows. This is us closing a show and sucking at it. Mac,
So we
thank
just
you.
do a cheers.
Dawg Chug.
Cheers.
Yeah, let's do a cheers.
cheers.
All right. Go Browns.
Mountain Dew.
Go Browns.